So you have the local handler, you have a web service, you have custom here. So if it is a web service, it will automatically go to the slow proxy and it comes and the invocation happens. If it is a local handler, you have to construct the object. The object construction happens. Here again, the good part behind the WebORB, the technology that they have written is these activators. The activators are used to create your object. So what happens here is, you have your Flex client this side, you have a .NET client that side. You have some objects here, and the equivalent object you will have on the other side also. The serialization, of the type conversion from, say, Flex, the conversion from the Flex side to the .NET side, meaning you have a class called city and it has some 5 or 6 parameters in it, you will have an equivalent on that side also. So all those serialization, deserialization happens on the fly for you by the WebORB. So in case if you want to have any custom serialization, you also have options where you can write your custom serialization. This is the type adaptation that I was talking about. So it will adapt the type. If you get a request from the client, it will automatically, you will have an equivalent on the other side also, right? So it will automatically convert it and give it to your this thing. And once the invocation happens, it will be either a .NET object or EJB or a Java object. So after that, you perform the operation, you return back serialize, and you pass out. So security is an inbuilt feature and it is configurable at whatever level you want. Hope I am clear. So the integration comes at 3 levels mainly in WebORB for .NET perspective. It's either remoting, data management, and real-time messaging. Remoting is again AMF and RDMP protocols. The data management is via CRUD, all create, update, delete, all operations are supported. The beauty behind it is, again here, you just have to give your classes, you have code, your WebORB generates code for you, for your client side as well as your server side. They also give you extensibility options to touch upon your code, saying you have a class and you create some classes out of, you give it to the WebORB and you get your custom classes. Say you get your custom classes on the .NET side or on the Flex side. So the classes that get generated in 2 levels. Your normal class, and you also have a class on the top of it which they have already written, and you have options there to override, to write your business logic just on the fly. So the other features is it comes with a lot of productivity tools. You can measure your performance, you can measure how each service is doing, how many times is it getting hit. There are a lot of security systems, and you have a testing tunnel. This is something that I was very much interested in. It's like, usually how do you test your web services that you write? If it is of a normal type, you can use your normal soap thing on your web browser and you can check what is the input that you are giving and what is the output that you are getting. The way they have implemented this is, you can even test your complex types. Complex types meaning, say you are returning a person object from your server. You have a web service. Usually the client and the server team works almost separately. So the client people, the server people can test their methods using the testing control they give, and they can drill down even for complex objects type as well. I'll show you the UI as how it is for your convenience later. So this is again, that was a wording representation and this is a pictorial representation. So remoting is at Flex, Flash, Ajax, Silverlight. You have data management. It generates code for you. It has runtime support and it has client synchronization. Probably I guess a lot of people must be aware of this. It's like they have implemented the technology for you, saying you have a couple of browsers talking to the same database. You save at one place and immediately the next second the other browser also reflects the change. They have written it inside with using some RDMP protocols, and they do kind of pushing all those things they do, and this is, you get all these things off the shelf. That's the beauty. And they have, the deployment has been made easier for you. There's a UI where you just have to drag and drop and your configuration is done. You have a service browser, you have a management console. This feature is grabbed out from the management console. And you have support for messaging. I'll try to go in depth on the remoting. I've still not myself explored on the messaging. I've explored a bit on the data management part. So Starting with remoting, how does this work? So you have the implementation on the server side and the client side. Client side, you create the Flex application, you write the UI logic, you configure the Flex compiler, and this WebORB comes with a lot of config files. So once you start your Flex project, you have your compile time parameter, right? In that compile time parameter, you will have to make it to point it to services.config of WebORB. This services.config will have the HTTP handler. I was telling before that HTTP handler is going to work across your request, right? So that is being configured in this services.config. So incorporate the proxy code that you have generated using the WebORB, attach the functionality, and hook up to the events. On the server side, it's very simple. You write your classes as .NET class libraries, and you take the DLL for the implementation. For the design time work. When you are going to try out, you can directly take the DLL, copy it into your WebORB is a virtual directory. So you have a bin folder already on the virtual directory. You just copy the DLL on the virtual directory, and it's pretty much that. That's it. Once you copy it, it opens WebORB opens the class that you have copied, the DLL that you have copied, free for access for other people as services, remoting services. You can test the functionality and you can generate proxy code for the client side if required. So this is how it is getting deployed, and once you install your WebORB, you can access it from the local host. The virtual directory is usually WebORB 30, and WebORB.aspx will help you to get your